Yeah, this is Darth Vader again, and I'm back. I'm really fucking sick of these protesters. And you know which ones I'm talking about. The assholes on television, burning down shit, breaking stuff. And I totally understand that it's your right to protest. But don't be an asshole. You have the right to protest peacefully, not be a douche. Let's start off with Black Lives Matter. You fucking terrorist organization. Isn't the name of your organization pretty much racist? Black Lives Matter. What about everybody else? What about whites, Hispanics, Asians? All lives matter, you motherfuckers. Let's take a look at Ferguson, for an example, where Michael Brown was shot by a police officer. And I'm not going to tell you which side I think is right and which side I think is wrong. But to fight injustice and to honor the memory of somebody that you feel has been murdered unjustly, it's a good idea to burn your own fucking city to the ground, you dummies. I mean, seriously, take a look at some of this.
Burn this bitch down! Give me the gun! Give me the gun! Let me do. Burn this bitch down! Burn that motherfucker down! This is no longer protest. Protesters.
Push that motherfucker out the window!
Step back.
Do these people look like they're honoring the memory of Michael Brown? Or burning down a QT? And let's look at this guy. I'm sure he's honoring the memory of Michael Brown while he steals shit. I guess people honestly believe that police officers across the nation must have some kind of secret society where they decided all together that they're just going to start shooting black people. Sometimes people make mistakes, and sometimes there are just bad police officers out there. But it doesn't mean all cops are bad. I mean, seriously, if police really wanted all black people to die, wouldn't they start first with just stop patrolling the poor black neighborhoods and let you guys take each other out? And that's just going off statistics, because there's more black on black crime anyways. Do you remember all the news coverage saying that Black Lives Matter was going to be down helping with Hurricane Matthew? Yeah, neither do I. Because black lives only matter to the Black Lives Matters group if it fits their agenda. But you better bet your ass that if a white cop shot a black person, regardless of if it was right or wrong, Jesse Jackson would probably teleport to that location like right out of fucking Star Trek. And some of the more radical members of the Black Lives Matters organization even tweeted out that they were gonna loot during Hurricane Matthew, and they couldn't wait because they needed to get some new stuff. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Then I hear people say that Martin Luther King would be rolling over in his grave with all the things that are happening. And I actually do agree with that comment. He would be rolling over in his grave. Because he believed in peaceful protest, not this shit. I mean, let's take a look. Peaceful protest? Fucking idiots. Peaceful protest? Douchebags. There's a pretty big difference, isn't there? Then we have celebrities and athletes supporting Black Lives Matter. Especially Colin Kaepernick. Fuck you, Colin Kaepernick, you piece of shit. What does this guy know about black oppression? He was adopted by a white family. Let's take a look at the picture. It looks like the Christmas card for the goddamn Brady Bunch. And then this guy has the nerve to wear socks that depict police officers as pigs during practice and not standing for the national anthem. You stand for the national anthem to honor all Americans that have died, to give us the freedoms that we have. Black, white, Asian, Native American, it doesn't matter. Those people died to give your pussy ass the right to even be allowed to protest. You are the biggest douche on the planet. And what kind of idiot would wear a Fidel Castro t-shirt to an anti-oppression press conference? Yeah, that's not even a fucking joke. You stupid piece of shit. Then we take a look at the election and what's happening after.
I don't feel like this was a fair election because it looks like Donald Trump won fair and square. How did he win fair and square? Hillary had more votes. More human beings voted for Hillary. This isn't fair. We didn't get one vote. You didn't get a vote. It's just like back in the day when your vote was 1/3. The Electoral College, here's somebody who wants to blow that up. You want to get rid of Electoral College? Just count the votes. It's ridiculous. Hillary, you're a lawyer. Walk in. Go to the Supreme Court. I believe in you, Hillary. I've been to Rwanda. I've been to your hospital in Rwanda. I've seen all the good you've done. I believe in you. Women need you. Minorities need you. I need you. Chicago needs you. We all need you. This country needs you to stand up and walk into the Supreme Court and say one vote equals one vote. What's wrong with that? What's the debate? I definitely feel his passion. There's other people out here who feel the same.
The reason why we have an electoral college is to settle the question of legitimacy when it comes to the presidential election, and who is really entitled to carry on the office of the president. And under the Constitution, the person who receives the most electoral votes becomes the president, even if he or she does not receive either a plurality or a majority of the popular vote. If we did away with the Electoral College and adopted a system in which a person becomes president with only a plurality of the popular vote, we would be swamped with candidates. You'd have like 15 to 20 people running for president, and somebody could win a plurality with like 20%. Does that sound like that person would be speaking for the American people? That's why the Electoral College exists, you dumb fuckers. You know, I've never seen a larger bunch of sore losers screaming and whining and crying just because their candidate didn't win. Is that how we're gonna raise our children now? If you don't get what you want, you're gonna whine and cry about it because it's your right? It's not your right to fucking burn down the goddamn city. I mean, look at this fucking lady. Let's listen in on her fucking brilliant speech.
Lily, your sign tonight says...
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. If we don't fight, who's going to fight for us? People had to die for the freedom where we're at today. We can't just do rallies. We have to fight back. There will be casualties on both sides. There will be, because people have to die to make a change in this world.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, that clip was fucking real. That person actually exists. Then we look at protests like the Women's March on Washington that happened after the inauguration of Donald Trump. The first thing is I'm really confused is why would they call it the Women's March? It doesn't represent all women. Protests started because of the defunding of government funds to go to Planned Parenthood. And pro-choice advocates were upset about this. What about the pro-life women? The Women's March shouldn't have been called the Women's March. It should have been called the Pro-Choice Women's March, Progressive Women's March, Liberal Women's March, Democratic Women's March. What about all the Republican women? Do they agree with that? And then the next week, they actually had a march for pro-life. What if they called that Women's March just the Women's March? You'd have two women's marches within a week of each other. You wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. Another thing that pisses me off is Facebook. Nowadays, everybody is a goddamn analyst for CNN and likes to shove their opinions down your throat. I don't need to hear about your political opinion 10 times a fucking day. I don't give a shit. I don't need to watch your vlogs when you're talking about your political opinion and what you think or don't think of the president on your way to work. I'll watch that video if it ends in one of those crazy dash cam crash videos, like this one.
And now my life to you I give. And now my life.
I mean, if that shit happens, you can tag me in that shit all day. But other than that, shut the fuck up. A lot of this can be blamed on the media for misleading both sides. Nowadays you have conservative media and you have liberal media. And you never know what to believe. Each one's telling you different things. And you have to decide what's right and what's wrong. It almost feels like you're a marriage counselor and you gotta listen to both sides and figure out what's the best course of action. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have a tweet from Governor Mike Pence at the time in 2015 where he says calls to ban Muslims from entering the U.S. are offensive and unconstitutional. And obviously that looks pretty hypocritical, being that he is the vice president to Donald Trump. The other side to this would be to remember that politicians frequently change their sides.
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage? No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman. I have not supported same-sex marriage. I've supported civil partnerships and contractual relationships. I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples. I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
The most important thing to remember here is that this country is pretty much split right down the middle. And just because you think something's right doesn't mean that the other half of the country agrees with you. And it's like that for all issues. So when you look at somebody and you actually think to yourself, I can't believe how this person doesn't understand. They're looking at you and they're thinking the same thing. But just remember, if you're going to protest, do it correctly. Look at people like Martin Luther King and draw your inspiration from that. Don't be a fucking asshole like these idiots. So, to all you stupid ass protesters, fuck you. This has been Darth Vader, and I'll see you guys next time.